So I would be starting with a new subject of chemical engineering, which is chemical reaction engineering. It is one of the core subjects in chemical reaction engineering that we study, right? So I would be following mainly two books, right, for my lectures for on chemical reaction engineering. First is the Wiley book, which is written by Octave Levenspiel, and the other book that I follow is by Scott Fogler, right. These two are best books, I think. So most of the things would be from Octave Levenspiel, and I also consult Fogler, right, for my lectures. So you can follow these books because I think these are the best books for chemical reaction engineering. So guys, if you like my videos, please like and share my videos and also subscribe to my lectures, right? So guys, let's start with what chemical reaction engineering, right? Firstly, chemical reactions, right? We have been studying chemical reactions in our school days, right? In all the classes, from our junior classes till class 12th, right? We have been studying a lot about chemical reactions. We have studied a lot of chemical reactions, right? And we know that chemical reactions are used, right, to make chemicals, right? And we know that chemicals are used by us in our day-to-day life, right? Starting from the morning, we use toothpaste, we use creams, right? Cold creams, facial creams, then we use many chemicals in our food, right? So I mean chemicals, so there must be a very big industry behind this making of chemicals, right? And it should be done in the safest manner because these are used by us, right? Should not contain anything that should harm us, right? So this should be done in the safest possible manner. So we have been studying about chemical reactions, right, in our classes. Now, when we were studying about chemical reactions in classes, what we have basically in our mind that these chemical reactions are generally these are done in laboratories, right? Mainly, what some people think that these are mainly done by chemists or scientists, right, who is an expert in chemistry subject, right? So they are the people we think who do these chemical reactions, right? But in chemical reaction engineering, right, we would not be dealing with the chemical reactions or the techniques of chemical reactions that are used in laboratories, right? What we would be dealing is, if you remember, when we started the manufacture of sulfuric acid, manufacture of ammonia, we have started lab preparation of ammonia, right, which is prepared from ammonium chloride and calcium chloride. Then we have also studied regarding industrial preparation of ammonia, which is done by Haber's process, right? And if you have noticed, right, that in Haber's process there is a big diagram, right, that has a catalytic chamber, that has a pump to maintain the pressure, right? It has a compression pump, right? Then it has pipes for liquefaction, right? So all these things, right, the diagram that you see in industrial preparation, those components, all these components come under what we call as chemical plant, right? The chemicals that we use in our daily life, right? If you want to go to a place, to a site or to a factory where these chemicals are made, you will see a big chemical plant over there, right? That chemical plant is not managed and maintained, right, and designed by a scientist, a chemist, but it's designed by a chemical engineer, right, who is expert in chemical engineering subjects like chemical reaction engineering, thermodynamics, fluid dynamics, heat transfer, mass transfer, all these subjects, right? And physical chemistry as well, and other chemical subjects as well. So in this subject, in chemical reaction engineering, we would be looking these chemical reactions, how these chemical reactions are done on a larger scale, on an industrial scale, right? The chemical reactions that are maybe they are discovered in labs, right? These chemical reactions may be discovered in labs by scientists, right? But when we need to make these chemicals on a large scale, right, then chemical engineer comes into picture, then these chemical plants come into picture, right? Now when we combine the chemistry of chemical reactions with these chemical plants, right, when we study chemical plants, the design, the management of chemical plants with these chemical reactions, right, once we know the chemical reactions, once we know the kinetics of chemical reaction, thermodynamics of chemical reactions, right, everything about the reactants and the products, then we can go ahead and design what we call as reactor, a chemical reactor, the chemical plant that you see, right? And we have studied in class 12th, we have studied physical chemistry, we have studied chemical kinetics, we have studied surface chemistry, right? Mainly we have studied catalysis, heterogeneous, homogeneous catalysis, heterogeneous, homogeneous reactions, right? What is the effect of temperature, pressure, right, concentration on the rate of reactions, mainly chemical kinetics. So in chemical reaction engineering, mostly you will see that it's what you can imagine this, or what you can think of this subject as, it's a very high level application of chemical kinetics and surface chemistry also, because catalyst, absorption all would be, all the knowledge of all these subjects, right, should be very good, right, in order to design a chemical reactor. So the knowledge of physical chemistry when combined with these chemical reactors, right, is then what we get is the chemical reaction engineering, right? So when we, how we can define this, when we study chemical kinetics, right, along with the reactors, the chemical reactors, or the design of chemical reactors, then what we are doing actually is we are doing chemical reaction engineering, right? So CRE, I'll just denote it with, abbreviated with CRE. Chemical reaction engineering is when you study chemical kinetics with reactor design, right? Then what we do is a chemical reaction engineering, right? We are looking mainly at the reaction kinetics, right, of a chemical reaction, right? What are the factors that can slow down a reaction? What are the factors that can increase the rate of reaction, right? Once we know all these things, then we can go ahead with the reactor design, right? Once we know the thermodynamics of a reaction, whether the reaction is exothermic, whether the reaction is endothermic, right? This will help us in designing a chemical reactor. And once you know the knowledge of catalyst, once you know that if this is the catalyst, right, that is required in this reaction, or if whether a catalyst is required or not in a reaction, right, that will gonna help us to design a chemical reactor, right? Because you need to make a place for the catalyst, right? If a catalyst is required, if like we use molybdenum in case of Haber's process, right? We call it a promoter. Sorry, yeah, I remember, it's a promoter. So if a promoter is required, then how will you arrange promoter, right? Or how will you place promoter in your chemical plant, right? So that reactants can go through that promoter, or that promoter can enhance the activity of your catalyst, right? How, when you are making something, right, you are using reactants. So how well these reactants react, how well they mix, right, how they pass through the reactor, right? That is mainly their how well they contact each other, how well they mix, how soon they mix, right? If you just imagine all these things are getting done in a chemical reactor, right, then what you are doing is chemical reaction engineering. So just imagine the chemical reactions that you have studied. Just try to imagine how they would have been done in a chemical reactor, in a chemical plant, right? Once you are able to do this, then you will find this subject to be very interesting, right? Because this subject is very interesting, because what you have been studying in your schools, now it's a time where you will get to know how these things are actually done, right? So you have, so here mainly chemical reaction engineering combines chemical kinetics with the reactor design, right? This is what we would be doing in chemical reaction engineering, right? And in any industrial chemical process, raw materials undergo number of physical treatments. Now, what are raw materials, right? Suppose you need to make ammonia, right? Suppose we are manufacturing ammonia. For ammonia, we need nitrogen, we need hydrogen, right? Nitrogen is obtained from air, and this hydrogen is obtained from LPG gas, right? So once you know about the raw materials, right? What are the raw materials in the what are the raw materials that you would be needing, right, for the reactants? Once you know the raw materials, like here air, because we need to process air, right, to get nitrogen, we have to process this LPG to get hydrogen, right? So these raw materials need to undergo physical treatment, right? We need to do physical treatment with these raw materials before we can feed these nitrogen and hydrogen into a chemical reactor where these reactants will react, right? And the outcome of these reactants, right, would be a product, right? So from the other end of the reactor you will get a product, right? So this product, once you get the product, say ammonia, we know that if you remember Haber's process, you get ammonia along with nitrogen and hydrogen, right? So you have to separate this product, what we call it a separation technique. You need a separation technique, right, to separate ammonia from nitrogen, hydrogen and ammonia mixture, right? So there is a subject in chemical engineering, separation techniques, right? So you would be dealing with, once you get the product, in order to purify the product, in order to separate the product, right, this mixture which comes out of the reactor needs to be further treated, needs to be further physically treated, right? It undergoes further physical treatment like crystallization, right, or distillation, in order to purify the product, in order to get the desired product from this undesired mixture, right? So this separation technique would be studied under a different subject, right? And in chemical reaction engineering, what we would be studying is when nitrogen and hydrogen, right, in the ratio 1:3, right, is passed in a chemical reactor, right? What you will be doing is you will be passing nitrogen and hydrogen in a chemical reactor. So what is happening here, right? Once you know this reaction, that nitrogen reacts with hydrogen to give you ammonia, right? This occurs in the presence of iron, right, heated iron, and molybdenum is a promoter. The temperature required for this reaction is 400 to 450 degrees Celsius, right, and a pressure of 250, right, atmospheres is required in this reaction, right? So these are kinetics, this much temperature, this much pressure, right? This is your catalyst, right, which can increase the rate of reaction. So once you know all these things, what you can do is you can go ahead with the design of the reactor. Once a chemical engineer has the knowledge of these kinetics, he can go ahead with the design of chemical reactor, right? So in the chemical reactor, as I said, because what we generally do in Haber's process, nitrogen is mixed with nitrogen is mixed with hydrogen in the ratio 1:3, and you need a high pressure, right? So if you need a high pressure, what you need in your chemical plant is your compression pump, right? And now since we need this heated catalyst, right? Catalyst should be heated to 400 to 450 degrees Celsius for this reaction to occur. So you need what? A catalytic chamber, heated catalytic chamber, right? Here you have an iron heated catalytic chamber from where these gases will pass, where they will react, right? Because this catalyst will increase the rate of combination of nitrogen and hydrogen to form ammonia, right? So you need a compression pump that you get to know from one of the conditions, right? From one of the kinetics condition, that it requires a high pressure, right? And once you know that you need a catalyst, so you need to place a catalytic chamber, right? And if you look at this equation, right, 4 moles of reactants are forming 2 moles of ammonia. So here the volume drops, right? So when volume drops, what you need is a high pressure, right? So you need a high pressure. The high pressure should be maintained of around 250 atmospheres in this reaction. And you need to have a temperature condition, because we know that this, if you talk about the thermodynamics of this reaction, you need a temperature. It's a exothermic process. Heat is evolved, right? So you need to bring down the temperature. Temperature should not be high, because once the reaction starts, right, it will continue. The reaction will continue because due to the heat that is produced, since it's an exothermic reaction, right? So once you lower down the temperature, because temperature should be low as it is an exothermic reaction, we know that at low temperature the rate of reaction goes down. Now the kinetics says at low temperature the rate of reaction will go down. Why the rate of reaction will go down? Because we know that we have studied a concept of activation energy in chemical kinetics, right? When you increase the temperature, what you are doing is you are increasing the activation energy of reactant molecules. So when the activation energy of reactant molecules is increased by increasing temperature, more molecules have energy which is equal to or above the threshold energy, if you remember the collision theory, right, that we have studied in chemical kinetics. Once they have the threshold energy, then they would be able to pass that energy barrier to form the products, right? Now since we are lowering down the temperature in this Haber's process, that will decrease the rate of reaction, right? So what we can do is we can use a catalyst to increase the rate of reaction, right? So all these conditions of reaction should be very well documented, or should be very well there in the mind, right, in the mind of the chemical engineer, so that he can go ahead with the design of the chemical reactor, right? So chemical reaction engineering is basically a combination of chemical kinetics. When we study chemical kinetics in combination with reactor design, is what is called as your chemical reaction engineering, right? So I hope till this point we are clear, right? So what I'll be doing is I'll just put some lectures on chemical kinetics at the end of this video, right? I'll put some links. You can go through those links, right, if you have any doubts with chemical kinetics. I also have a playlist on chemical kinetics, right? So you can go through any of the topics in chemical kinetics if you have any doubts, right? So design of equipment for physical treatment. I said that you take raw materials, right? These raw materials needs to be processed. What you will do is you will process these raw materials so that they can be in a condition, right? They need to be processed so that they can be made they can be reacted chemically, right? Because if you remember, when we do metallurgy, right, the ores, right, the ores, maybe it's big pieces of rocks, right? So what you do is you break those big pieces of ore, right, using crushing and grinding, right? That is your physical treatment. So what you do is you take that ore in a condition so that it can be fed into the reactor, right, where it will undergo various chemical reaction to form the metal, right? So you raw materials will undergo physical treatment. Let me write it over here. Physical treatment, right? And this physical treatment, the study of this physical treatment of raw material, and like I said here, physical treatment of the mixture, right, that contains your product, right, in which we need to, from where we need to separate and purify the product, that also requires a physical treatment. So physical treatment of raw materials and separation techniques, which is again a physical treatment, separation techniques that involves the separation and purification of product would be done under a different subject, right? That subject where you study physical treatment is your unit operations. This is your unit operations, right? So once you have raw materials in the right condition, right, after physical treatment, you have the raw material in the right condition, then you pass that raw material in this reactor, right, in this reactor where chemical reaction will take place, right, where chemical reaction will take place. So in this subject, which we call as chemical reaction engineering, we would be dealing with this part, right, the part which is being done in that reactor, right? Because once we know the conditions of this reaction, right, that is taking place in this reactor, then only we can go ahead and decide the design of our chemical plant, right? So we would be dealing with, in this subject, we would be dealing with the chemical reaction that is taking place in the reactor, and the design of reactors would be done under a different subject, which is your unit operations, because the design is not a routine operation. It is done once, right? Once it is done, then you only have to do a chemical reaction in that reactor, right? So once after a chemical reaction is done, right, this mixture, right, will again undergo a physical treatment, right, physical treatment where you will do separation technique, where you will follow separation techniques, right, and purification techniques to obtain product in the pure form. And this is again a different subject in chemical engineering, which is your separation techniques, right? Right. So once this physical treatment is done, what you get is a product, right? Once you understand this, you will have a little bit understanding of what subjects you would be going through in your chemical engineering, right? You have raw materials, right? Raw materials would undergo a physical treatment so that they can be taken, or they can be converted in the form in which they can be made to react chemically, right? So they are passed in this raw material. Once they are in the right form, they are passed in the chemical reactor where they will react, right? And once it's out of this chemical reactor, it will again undergo physical treatment processes, which are separation techniques and purification of product, right? And once this physical treatment is done, what you get is a product, right? The design of this chemical reactor would be done under subject unit operations, right? Design of this reactor, the design of this physical reactor would be done under sorry, the physical treatment, right? The physical treatment would be done under this unit operations, right? This is a subject where we would be dealing with the physical treatment methods, right, which involves crystallization, distillation, fractional distillations, right? So design of equipment, right, for physical treatment is studied under unit operations. Here design, we would be designing the equipment. Design of equipment is done under unit operations, right? This is a different subject. So there is something called as, one important thing that we should be doing in this lecture only is performance equation. There is one thing known as performance equation. What is this performance equation? Performance equation. Performance equation is to know what a reactor is able to do, right? We need to know the kinetics, contacting pattern and performance equation, right? To know what a reactor can do. To know what a reactor can do, right? We need to know the kinetics, right? The contacting pattern, and the other is the input. Input is basically the raw materials and the reactants that you feed in the chemical reactor, right? So basically in this chapter, right, we would be finding the performance equations, right? Once you are clear with the performance equation, then you can go ahead with your reactor design, right? So performance equation, mainly what we are doing here is this contacting pattern, as we have discussed before, tells you how well and how soon the reactants will get mixed up, right? And kinetics will tell us the rate of reaction, how fast they are reacting or how slow they are reacting, right? So once you have knowledge of all these things about the input, what are the reactants, right, what physical treatments they have undergone, right, everything, then what you have is the output, right? To know the output, right, you should know the kinetics, the contacting pattern, the input, right? So performance equation is output. To know the output, what is output? Output depends on your input, right, what you are feeding in the reactor, and the kinetics, right, when it undergoes reaction in this reactor, right, you should know the kinetics of the chemical reaction that is being getting done in the reactor, and the contacting pattern, how well they mix, right, whether they are miscible or what can be done to make so that they can be mixed, right, they can be mixed well, right? It's not that they should not be mixing, right? So what design needs to be there so that the reactants can be mixed well, right? All this comes under your reactor design. Once you have the knowledge of all this, what you have is your reactor design, kinetics, right, your contacting, right, and your input. This is your performance equation, which tells us that output is a function of kinetics, right, contacting, and your input, right? So in this, once you know this performance equation, you can go ahead with your reactor design. So we would be finding these equations in this subject. We would be mainly dealing with this equation, right? So I hope this is clear to you, right? I can be followed at the Facebook group, which you have in the description of this video, right? So I'll be uploading another video, so please keep watching and liking the videos. Thanks.